Tim Bewdley, back to you.
Anthony, a terrible situation. Thanks very much indeed. Now, every time something like this happens, questions are asked about whether it's all to do with global warming. Well, our science and environment correspondent David Gregory joins me now. So, David, are you going to tell us it's global warming then?
Well, I'm going to tell you the plural of anecdote isn't data, I'm afraid, for scientists, Suzanne. So what we had last night was weather, but not necessarily climate change, at least not its own. But let's take a look at those pictures, because they give us some clues. If we look at Ross-on-Wye, you can see heavy downpour, water overwhelming the drains. Now, this is the kind of event that we do predict we'll have more of if climate change is a reality, and we do seem to be getting more of them. The problem is they're very localised, very heavy downpours. That makes them hard to predict where they're going to fall, and also hard to protect yourself against.
People protect themselves then?
Well, if you've been affected more than once, then maybe it's time to think about looking at flood systems, barriers to go across front doors, air bricks, that kind of thing. They can be put in place really quickly, and they are the key. But beyond that, there are other things we can all think about doing. I mean, if you've got a front garden and you want to pave it over, concrete it over to park your car, well, doing that kind of thing is going to force the rain to run elsewhere. Maybe you should put gravel down or either keep it as a garden so we can soak up as much of this kind of rainfall as possible.
David, we've been seeing the clean-up process starting in lots of areas. Who pays for it all?
Well, as Anthony said, he'd seen a fridge floating down the street. I'm afraid wherever it lands up, the landowner is responsible. But if there's a pollution risk or more of a flood risk, then the Environment Agency will help.
OK, thanks very much indeed, David. Well, other news now, and two new